Mitch McConnell and the Republicans are back on the job after a long vacation that ended last week. So what have they been up to in the time that they've been back? Have they been working on the homelessness crisis as a result of the pandemic? Have they been ensuring that Americans receive health care after millions of them have lost their health insurance through their job? Have they been trying to get another $1,200 stimulus check out to the American people? I know a lot of Republicans are in favor of that. I'm in favor of more stimulus checks. So have they? Turns out, nope. Other than a $300 billion skinny bill that mainly gives more aid to corporations, Mitch McConnell has not been working on anything related to the pandemic. In fact, what he's been doing is jamming more, Trump judicial nominees through the court. In fact, the Senate just filled 4 federal vacancies in California and 2 in Illinois. It also is expected to confirm 2 additional Illinois judges in short order. 3 judges were appointed to seats covering Los Angeles, while another was appointed to a seat covering San Diego, and there are 11 additional nominees to California courts awaiting Senate confirmation. They are going to try to get to as many of those as possible. So now, who are these people? Well, we got a couple of them. 2 of them that were confirmed were David Dugan and Stephen McGlynn. Now, they're confirmed to the Eastern District of Illinois, and also they had ended the debate on the nominations of Ian Johnston to the Northern District. The upper chamber is also expected to end debate on the nomination of Franklin Ulysses Valderrama to the Northern District of Illinois. So now we've got 2 people that we have some information on, Dugan and McGlynn. Apparently they are massively anti-choice. They signaled, by the way, that they would rule against reproductive freedom. Both McGlynn and Dugan received support from anti-abortion organizations after completing candidate questionnaires indicating opposition to abortion rights for their previous elections to lower courts. In his judicial candidate survey, Dugan wrote that he opposes the Supreme Court decision in Roe v. Wade and supports restrictions on access to abortion. As co-chairman of the Republican State Central Committee, McGlynn led the development of the Illinois Republican Party platform, which included a clear stance against abortion. Dugan also co-founded Illinois Vision in 2020, which works to ban all abortion in Illinois. Dugan also served as president and legal counsel for a crisis pregnancy center. So now these pregnancy centers basically have people that dress up and pretend to be doctors and give you dubious advice, which of course includes whatever you do, do not get an abortion. It will cause you to be infertile. It will give you cancer. It will do all of these things, which actually are not true at all. And so he served as president and counsel for Thrive Metro East and formerly Options Now Medical Pregnancy Center. So again, these are pretty insidious because they pretend to be medical professionals and they prey on women who don't know better, right? So no, I think that women are smart enough to be able to make their own decisions about their bodies. These crisis pregnancy centers, they say, no, we don't think you're smart enough. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to lie and pretend to be something that we're not in order to get our desired outcome. Now, in 2012, McGlynn was endorsed by Family PAC. Family PAC is also known as Illinois Family Action, which is classified as an LGBTQ plus hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. McGlynn also led development of a 2004 Illinois Republican platform, which included a clear anti-abortion stance, as I mentioned before. And so these are just 2 of the judges that McConnell has chosen. And interestingly enough, instead of actually doing his job as far as coronavirus relief, which should be number 1 on the list, because, we're not only in a pandemic, but we're also in a recession as a result of coronavirus. No, he's choosing to ram these judges through. Of course. It's pretty underhanded, really. Now, the latest votes came as the Senate failed to advance any tangible coronavirus relief measure for weeks after much of the funding of the CARES Act expired in August. Senate Majority Leader McConnell has stalled relief negotiations after balking at the $3 trillion HEROES Act passed by the House Democrats back in May. So now, he rejected that. So Democrats came back and said, okay, we're going to cut a lot of money out of this, next bill because we know you're concerned about the deficit. So we're going to give you a $2.2 trillion compromise. McConnell said, absolutely not. Here's our compromise. A $300 billion relief bill, which would have cut unemployment benefits and did not include either aid to any hard-hit areas or any sort of stimulus payments whatsoever. And after the Democrats, by the way, voted against that, McConnell accused Democrats of, quote, historic obstruction and stonewalling relief, vowing to use the coming days to push through Trump's judicial nominees. In fact, he said, we are breaking Democrat filibusters on nominations because Democrats filibustered coronavirus relief. Senate Democrats have forced us to break more filibusters on nominations since 2017 than had occurred cumulatively in all of Senate history before President Trump was sworn in. You know, it's funny to hear about obstruction from Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell, who literally blocked a Supreme Court nominee for over a year. Mitch McConnell, who presided over a historic obstruction during the Obama era. That Mitch McConnell is now talking about, I can't believe the Democrats would do such a historic obstruction. Come on, give me a break. Look, we know what Mitch McConnell's doing. He's packing the courts full of right-wingers. I mean, by the way, in anticipation of losing the next election, he is hedging his bets. I mean, look, not only is he doing that, but also you're going to have a very conservative court, not just Supreme Court, right? But courts all around the country. Even if Donald Trump loses and he doesn't get to pick the next Supreme Court, you also, or the Supreme Court justice, you have a majority conservative court. And now you have all these local courts that are also extremely conservative with people that are conservative with lifetime appointments. And so this is going to affect a lot of decisions going forward for a generation, at least. So that's disastrous for anyone who cares about actual progress. And so that's what Mitch McConnell's doing, and that's why. Of course, it's not about obstruction with him. I mean, unless he does it. It's really about making sure his party comes out ahead on politics and they continue to be in power. And, of course, he also cares about not helping the people, but helping his donors. Remember, now that the stock market is relatively stable and the economy, you know, he doesn't care about the economy on Main Street. They only care about the stock market because that's what their donors care about the most, and that's why he gets money. He doesn't care about anybody else, so he's not going to pass any sort of comprehensive COVID-19 relief.